It is Tuesday morning, February the 28th. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, chat about what's going on in the world of weather, and hopefully get your day started off on a bright note. We are just 1 day away from the release of our 2023 hurricane season forecast. That is all we will be talking about tomorrow, so be sure to join in. I expect WJCL Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Nelson, who co-authors this with me every year, to join us, and it's going to be something. It's going to be something. Good, bad, or indifferent. We're there. All right. Anyway, let's chat about what's going on in the world of weather this morning. Just the day before the hurricane forecast comes out. We're in a stretch of great weather. We will discuss all that there is to discuss in terms of our local forecast. Plus, let's try this again. Crew 6, ready to head on out. Again, to try and get on the pad and try and get off this planet. We'll be checking in to see how launch conditions are. And I will be out there with the Weather Lab once again late tomorrow night and early Thursday morning. But for now, we look outside, and it is a gray start to the day. Mostly cloudy skies. A little haze out there. We've not really seen anything turn to much morning fog this morning, so there's that. In terms of the first warning live Doppler radar, we've got the clouds, but thankfully, it's a nice quiet start to the day. Temperatures, really interesting little setup here. All right, we've got upper 60s in Orlando, mid 60s in Brevard, but it is the 70s back to Ocala. Ocala, you're usually one of our cooler spots. What's going on? Well, we've got this kind of southwest wind that's already kicked up along the Gulf Coast, and it's kind of infiltrating through the peninsula. That's why it's warmer out west. Give it a little bit of time. That breeze will continue for us. But essentially today, tomorrow, and really the next couple of days, we are in a warm, sunny, beautiful weather stretch. So yeah, not the worst thing in the world to deal with, right? Yeah. So let's look at our forecast then for today. Our 12-hour forecast showing lower 80s by lunchtime, mid 80s by 1 o'clock, mid-range of the 80s, just about all of us for a high temperature forecast. Here we are around town. Mid 80s across most of the area, though southern Brevard County cannot rule out the chance of seeing some readings in the upper range of the 80s. So it's nice and warm. And, you know, it's beautiful. At least there's that. Oh, excuse me. I gotta tell you, for what it's worth, I'm still struggling to wake up here. I am just trying to take all of this coffee into me, like get in my belly. But at least it's a beautiful forecast for us today. Not really anticipating, much in the way of record heat concerns. Here's a look at the numbers. I think in Melbourne, southern Brevard County, you're going to be the spot that gets into the ball. Where is my brain? Gets into the ballpark. More coffee. Stand by. You have that, right? Like yesterday, I was a disaster. Today, I'm just trying to put my brain together. But obviously, forecast in the left column, records in the right column, and you can see, right? Like we're going to be warm, near records for all of us, but it's Melbourne that's going to be getting there, we think. So we're going to be on the lookout today. By the way, wrapping up the month of February wraps up meteorological winter. So let's look and just kind of see where we've been at, okay? Morning low, 7th warmest meteorological winter. The record, 68.1 for the average temperature. This year we were at 66.1. So that's the morning low. What about afternoon highs? Average high temperature, or this is actually average temperature across the board, 69.8, making it the 3rd warmest of February. And we were probably going to end up being the 2nd warmest in terms of just afternoon high temperatures. I can actually look that up. Hold on. Through yesterday, that's the average, including the morning and the afternoon. Including yesterday. Give me a second. Oh, wrong button. Climate perspectives. All right. Maximum temp, average, observed through yesterday period. We are going to do month to date. And we are going to do rankings. Yeah, we'll do rankings. All right, perspectives. Yeah, so we're on track to have the second warmest in terms of afternoons. So when we look at that data, let me get here. So 7 degrees above. So average high temp. Yeah. Month to date. All right. So average high temp, 81.9, moving 7 degrees above. Yeah. All right. So interesting stuff. All right, we'll see how today shapes up. If today's like a couple of ticks warmer, we could end up being the hottest February on record. So that's February. Since we're not going to be covering it tomorrow, let's just look at March, okay, and just see what's ahead. We know that we've got a stretch of very warm weather ahead of us this week. March is kind of where we really start to make those moves, okay? So tomorrow's average high temperature, 77. By the end of March, the average high temperature climbs into the 80s. We've made it to 97 degrees in the month of March. Good gravy. Hope that does not play out. But don't think that we can't hit freezing temperatures, because we have. Back in 1916, Orlando hit freezing temperatures right at 32 degrees. So it can happen. Yeah. Average rain for us is 3.7 inches. So we start to see a few showers. I got married in the month of March because I know that the weather is typically pretty much perfect. Yeah, so I like the month of March. It's great. It's starting to build into that springtime pattern, which then leads me to meteorological spring. Yes, meteorological spring. Average high temperature for the month of March is 79. But notice average high temperature for the month of April is 84. Average high temperature for the month of May is 88. So meteorological spring begins. And this is where we start to move. Rosebud said, I saw a launch yesterday. Was it the one with the astronauts? It was not. That was a Starlink mission that was sending up more satellites. It's the kind of next generation of Starlink satellites. The astronaut launch is now scheduled, and I'll be with you Thursday morning, early Thursday morning. I think I'm going to retool this graphic just a little bit. This is the forecast, but you know, it's kind of funny. Digging deeper and deeper into the weeds. So let's just look at this graphic, okay? It's an instantaneous launch window because it is going to the International Space Station. So it's like bow and arrow. Remember, your target is moving, so you've got to shoot the arrow knowing that as it goes, it hits the target. You know? You're making a moving target, hitting a moving target, traveling it, you know, like 20,000 miles an hour, right? So that's not the easiest thing. So it's an instantaneous window. So it's either go, no go. So it's like the other night when the clock stopped, we knew that was it. They didn't have to officially scrub the mission the other night. We knew as soon as the clock stopped, that was it. Because then you don't get to the International Space Station. You have to wait for the curvature of the Earth, the rotation of the Earth, the orbits of the space station. Yada, 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 yada. Priscilla says that's why you're so tired. Early launch windows and then changes. You know, it's funny. I was talking to the wife yesterday and I was like, you know, I've worked in television now for 22 years. And I'm used to crazy hours. But I will say that covering launches has significantly adjusted the amount of crazy hours I work. It used to just be hurricanes and severe weather. Now it's hurricanes, severe weather, and rocket launches. Ask me if I would change it. If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. I'm just kind of busted sometimes. My brother, of course, says, what? The earth is curved? I know. I thought about for a while putting one of those Flat Earth Society stickers on my car, and then it occurred to me, that's not a parody. People actually think the world is flat. And I was like, I don't want to be put in with that group. You know, like all joking aside, and we'll get to the launch. You're seeing it, but like we'll discuss it more in a second. But like the easiest way for me to teach the curvature of the Earth is simply by looking at our live radar. Like I can make the sweep go further, but the problem is that once you get much further than that, like you're using power for no reason. Because I can make the radar range go out further. I have to drop the PRF, but curvature of the Earth. Think about it. The second that radar beam leaves, it's not like it curves with the Earth. So it's essentially going out into space. And then as it gets further and further away, believe it or not, the Earth's curvature makes it go out further. So this is why, you want your radar as close as possible, because like a storm up here in Marion County, I'm still going to be lower in the atmosphere than the Weather Service office in Tampa, the Weather Service office in Jacksonville, or the Weather Service office in Melbourne, right? Because of the curvature of the Earth. So, nerd fact. Anyway, all right, back. The world is as flat as a soccer ball. That is the truth. Just not a New England soccer ball, right? Oh, too soon. Sorry. Oh, man. Priscilla says, I suffer from vertigo, but thankful not to feel it moving so fast. Jamie, first off, hey, welcome to the area. Is it normal to have so little rain this time of year? I'm in St. Cloud. Thanks. Of course. My pleasure. Yeah, Jamie, this is the dry season, bud. February is the driest month. We start to see some more showers into March and April, and then usually in May we start our rainy season. So yeah, this is the dry season. It becomes a fire season a lot too. So woof. But yeah, we're a little behind in rainfall, but it is normal to be a little dry and for the pollen to just get you. Yeah, this time of year, the pollen will get you. Nancy says pollen season. Ugh, it's true. My car is like, you buy a white car, why is it turning yellow? That's the answer. All right, so I think I'm going to retool this forecast layout today because Falcon 9, Crew 6. Okay, perfect. Launch window, perfect. The concerns at the spaceport, cumulus clouds and precipitation. Launch percentage is 90%. In other words, early Thursday morning when we're covering this, there's a 90% chance of good weather at the spaceport. These other parameters below do not count into that 90%, but these other parameters below could end up scrubbing a mission due to weather. So I feel like I need to change it to additional concerns or something. I need to put another bar in that says additional concerns because these are other points. Like, for example, upper level wind shear is not accounted for in the 90%. The booster recovery weather not accounted for in the 90%. The ascent corridor not accounted for in the 90%. So I think I need to adjust that a little bit. But nevertheless, let me tell you, the launch forecast is looking great for Thursday morning. If they need to do a slide to Friday morning, it would be more around midnight. The concern then starts to get into more clouds and even some showers. So it goes from a 90% chance of good weather to a 70% chance of good weather, with the caveat of ascent corridor weather goes worse and booster recovery weather goes worse. And then in the event that they need to slide that to a Saturday early morning launch, which would be around 11:40 or so p.m., you're at a 40% chance of good weather with bad ascent corridor weather and bad booster recovery weather offshore. So Thursday morning looks fine. They would probably go for it if they had to on Friday morning, but I would say that they would not try and go for a 48-hour slip. So again, these are all nerd elements and things, but maybe that's a graphic I make today too. My whole thing, so when I get into the office today, so I'm working today, and then I'm working tomorrow, but like super late at night. But today, Priscilla's asking, do they still allow people to watch the launches on the pad? You've never been able to be at the pad. There's a very dangerous element there. Yeah, they clear all the people from the pad. What I want to do today is finalize the hurricane forecast, take one last look at it before it goes public, talk with Jeremy about it, and then work on some additional stuff for the launch for tomorrow. Yeah. So that's that. April calendar. Chris, I'll get there, buddy. I'm barely caught up on sleep. Yeah, I'll get there. But I know it's your job to ask. Frank, how's the weather looking for the 5th of March? It's my birthday that day. Very cool. Yeah, well, so 7-day forecast does look good. So let's look at the 7-day forecast, okay? And there you go. The only kind of concern here is going to be on Saturday, the 4th. But by Sunday, we're looking better. Sunday, the 5th, we're looking better. So there's that. So let's talk kind of about the overall weather pattern, okay? So here we are. We're looking good. Nice, dry weather. Wednesday, still looking good. I think we'll be fine for the rocket launch. Then looking ahead to Thursday, there's our next weather maker, our next storm system kind of getting its act together, bringing some winter precipitation to the plains, firing up some stormy weather out ahead of it, okay? Then by Friday, that frontal boundary starts to sneak our direction, and it will make it here. It will make it here. It will make it here, giving us the opportunity to pop the heat bubble. Okay, now ahead of, they always say it's always darkest before the dawn, right? It's always the warmest before the cool. So look at where we go later this week, okay? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, upper range of the 80s. It's going to be toasty, warm days. Yeah. It's going to be toasty, warm days. Near record heat. Then we get that cool front. So that cool front does give us some showers on Saturday, but look at the temperatures for our weekend forecast. Okay? Dropping things off just a little bit there. All right? So again, just take a look at our 7-day forecast here. Showers for Saturday. By Sunday, the temperatures drop a little bit and then give us that drop again onto Monday. The front is kind of slowed down a little bit, so it is what it is. Yeah. All right. Brian, who's on the menu for this week's Friday drive-thru? You know, I haven't officially asked because I've not been sleeping. Let me text Menolfi right now. Hey, Putz. Around at 8 a.m. Friday to do coffee talk with me? Smiley face. We'll see. He said he would, but I haven't formally asked him. So we'll try and get Menolfi this week. And then I need to message Jeff Petrovsky and get him on. And by the way, we should have, as long as Jeremy Nelson is alive, awake, alert, and enthusiastic, we'll have him on with us tomorrow. Not for the drive-thru, but for the hurricane forecast. So have your hurricane questions ready. Oh, man. Catherine says, wow, the last day of February. Where is the year going? Would love to still only have the 70s, not the 80s. I know. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. Tony Bag of Donuts. That's right. Ted's asking for ETA of the rain on Saturday. All right, so we're still a little far out to get into specificity, but I can give you the long-range futurecast and, take it with a grain of salt, okay? Because it's still a little early. But I know y'all like that sort of thing. Little heads up. So we'll go through. Of course you're not. All right. So 9 a.m., we've got the rain north of town kind of approaching us, right? Cool beans. We've got that. Kind of phasing up a little bit as the afternoon progresses. And it looks like it's going to be an afternoon evening thing. So that's what we're looking at for now is afternoon, evening. And then by Sunday morning, it's kind of clearing out. And then by Sunday, look at that. Sunday, clearing skies, cooler temperatures, looking great. It's not going to be a massive cold front, but it will be something. It will be something that we get to enjoy. A change. Debbie says Claire Metz. We'll have Claire Metz. There's something I'm waiting for to have Claire Metz on. Don't forget your sunblock. Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't rely on a groundhog for a winter forecast, Rosebud says. Yep. There it is. There it is. Hey, speaking of sunblock, y'all know what this week is? So if it was the Honda Classic last week, y'all, you know what's happening? You know what's happening this week? Anybody? 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 All right. I'll spill the beans. The Arnold Palmer Invitational. The API. Can you believe it? Wednesday, the Pro-Am. I went out to the Pro-Am a few times. Well, that too, Taylor. Yeah, that too. But at least event-wise. So Pro-Am looks good. Slight breeze around. Not too bad, right? Then you get into the first round. Hot and breezy. And then if you're out for the weekend... Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Idiot. Wake up, Burris. It's going to be windy. Be interesting. A couple of showers for the later players. Golf is great if you want to take a nap. Well, I guess that too. Yeah, exactly. Is it bike week? When's bike week? Hold on. Are we already to bike week? I knew it was coming up. Bike week. Wow. It's bike week. Friday, March the 3rd through Sunday, March the 12th. Y'all, we need to get our graphics together for that as well. I cannot believe it's bike week already. Where is this year going? Where is this year going? Oh, wait, we have it. See, this is I work with a good group of people. Friday, bike week starting up. 86. It's going to be warm over there. Folks, look twice, check twice, check 3 times, please. Check 3 times for motorcycles. They're going to be around. Okay, nice warm day. Love it, love it. I'm all about it. I am all in on it. Yep, sign me up. Sign me up. And yes, we are less than 100 days away from hurricane season, so here's my shameless plug. Never going to stop me. Tomorrow. The hurricane season forecast is revealed. Doing this a couple of years now. And listen, and we're going to talk about this again tomorrow, but like for what it's worth, let me pull up the we call it a POP, the proof of performance from last year. For what it's worth, there's the hotspots from last year in red. And there are the tropical tracks from last year. Every line is where a tropical system moved through. For what it's worth, y'all, we did all right. We'll talk more about this tomorrow, of course. But, yeah, we did all right last year. We did all right last year. Tomorrow, the 2023 hotspots come out. I cannot believe we're there. I cannot believe we are there. Karen says, I'd like to have Ben Franchette from my NBC5. He's my local meteorologist and a fan of mine. Ben's a good guy. Honestly, between him and Jankowski up there, they're a good group, Karen. They're a good group. Yeah, we'll have to get Ben on. Yeah, we'll have to get they're a good group up there at PTZ. One of my stations. I love it. One of my stations. Tina says, I'm sad my husband has an 8 a.m. doctor's appointment tomorrow, hoping I can at least listen in. Tina, I can tell you a couple things. It's going to be there when you're done. Real life is more important, and we are still months away from hurricane season, so you're good. I just can't believe it's time to do it. I cannot believe it's already time. I'd say most of my graphics are done. Priscilla, can I get a climatologist? At some point, but I wanna roll through the other folks. Yeah. Tara says you're starting your 3rd year tomorrow. It's true, yeah. 3rd year publicly. We did it a couple of years behind the scenes. David says Jacqueline needs to be on. I have already. Yes, Jacqueline will be. Wait, when did Let me just see. Jacqueline said she'd be on, but I don't remember when she said. Hold on. She can do March the 10th. So next week we'll have Jacqueline on. All right? There you go. So we'll try and get Manolfi for this week, and then Jacqueline will be on next week. She already put it in her calendar. She did say she was going to need to go get some snacks, which I think is hilarious. So real fast, leading up to this year's hurricane forecast, here's the POP for last year, the 2022 tracks and hotspots. And here's the 2021 hotspots and tracks. And you know, I like when you look at all the hotspots, like, yeah, there was that putts there. That was a dumb one. And this one was right on the edge. So 2021, and I was still uber happy with this forecast. You know, I was still uber happy. And then for 2020, did I do a hotspot? Yeah, this is the pop for 2020. Hotspots for 2020. And what I think with this one was a particularly interesting victory for me because in 2020, if you'd said it was going to be the busiest hurricane season on record, like our forecast that we put out looked like this. And was 2020 public or was that still behind the scenes? I can't remember. I think maybe this one was still behind the scenes. At any rate, this was the forecast that we had done. And internally, it was like if you had said Florida's not going to get hit on what would be the busiest hurricane season on record, like you'd have thought you were crazy, but there you go. So, yeah. So these are all old hotspots. The 2023 hotspots come out tomorrow. Frank says, hope Florida is not lit up in red tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow. Don't hold your breath. Priscilla says, very interesting. The whole thing is very interesting. And we'll have Jeremy Nelson on. He and I will be taking questions, and it will be fascinating. It's truly... When I tell you it's a labor of love, I cannot understate that enough. It's something that I put so much time, so much energy into. And it's like, it's so surreal when it gets put out on a day like tomorrow because it's like, well, now what do I do? Now what do I do? Now what do I do with my free time? Sleep. Jennifer said, Nicole says it will be. Jennifer's right. Nicole would dictate that Florida is going to have some red. Yeah. Jeannie, blink twice if we just need to move now. No, you're not moving. We're not moving. Andy says, Eric good with secrets. I'm really not. I'm actually quite terrible with them. Yeah. Tara says, can't wait. Having grown up with hurricanes, I just enjoy watching your predictions. Well, thank you. I enjoy making the predictions. It's not going to be perfect, and that's fine. But I will always show you the good and the bad. I will always show you. I want to be fully transparent with it because the atmosphere is a river of air. Gary Lezak has said that many times. Last year, though, we had a particularly good forecast. Like, this was last year's hotspots versus the paths. And by the way, like, that was our forecast last year. Near average. And what did it end up being? Near average. So, yeah. We're going to put numbers. This year, we're going to put numbers. Because in looking back, writing near average is acceptable. But that like leaves it to your imagination. So, I don't know. We're gonna put numbers in there. And then we'll just like justify. Is it not justify, but we'll like sum it up. Near average, above average, below average. You'll have to watch and see how that plays out tomorrow. Yeah. I do also need to do the 2023 hurricane season names. Yeah. You should do a seminar or something on the meteorological. What, Destiny? I feel like you didn't complete your thought. Can I just ask if we can do winter again? I didn't get enough before it left. I know. You and me both. Yeah. Okay, Destiny, you should do a seminar about the meteorological community. I would definitely go. Well, that's not a bad idea. That'd be fun. I do feel like I do try to get as many people updated and informed here on Coffee Talk. But yeah, we're always looking for fun new ways to reach people. And I can tell you with 100% certainty that what you're talking about is not the craziest thing that we've ever heard of or thought about. So we may end up going down that path at some point. We're discussing that, using the Weather Lab to do things like that. Some Wesh 2 Legend suggestions for the drive-thru. Bill Schaefer, I could do that. Dan Satterfield. Dan and I follow each other on Twitter. Haven't talked much. Bill Schaefer and I, buddies. Buddy Pittman, I could 100% do that. Mark Middleton, I feel like I could do that. Dan Billow, I could probably do. Jason Brewer, I could absolutely get. Steve Rondinero, I could absolutely get. McD, absolutely get. Meredith McDonough, please, of course I could get her. Pat Clark, could absolutely get. Kathy Marsh, I don't know Kathy. I mean, I remember watching her, but... And I don't know, so I always wondered, I don't know that she was Dave Marsh's wife. I don't know that she was. But no, Brian, I love it. We'll have to, it would be interesting to chat with, some of them, particularly Dan Billow. I don't think you guys and gals realize, like, the depth this man has in his brain. Man went back to school as not a young man to go get his meteorology background, to go get the meteorological education. He and I went to the same meteorology school. Did you know that, Dan Billow? He did some weather at Wesh, but he did. Yeah, so it'll be very interesting. We are all here, Eric. The job is done by your part. Just open the book and let it rip. Why wait for tomorrow when we can do it today? Because, Eduardo, March 1st just has a ring to it. It has a ring to it. I like it. Kelly, put Hutch and Claire on. Both of them. They need to be a package deal because Hutch is just as big of a legend. It's true. It's true. It's true. And Ron can't... Kelly. Don't forget the Wesh legend, Michael Lennick. Oh, 100... Listen, I don't think I've formally asked him yet. Let me do that right now. Hold on a second. Let me message him right now. I think I told you guys and gals while going through the archives, I found this old video of Mike and sent it to him. Hold on a second. Not sure if you were aware, but I do a morning Facebook Live called Coffee Talk, period. On Fridays during the quiet season, I have guests on, and would love to have you on sometime just to shoot the breeze, period. The folks are demanding you to be a part of the Wesh Legend category. LOL. We'll see what he's... I mean, it'd be fun to chat with Mike. I always loved watching Mike. He always had such a nice... He always had such a nice... Why is my brain not working today? Voice. My God. Please help. Okay. So that's where we're at. Any questions, comments, concerns, people? We need to know more about Camtran. We'll get everybody on. Little by little, we'll do it. How about my old crush, Marla Weech? I haven't talked to Marla in a couple of years. I worked with Marla when I was over at the other station. She's so sweet. That would be a fun one to chat with. Marla, quick side story. Maybe we, maybe I have to get Marla on. When Marla and I worked together, I was working over there and I was trying to get my first TV job. And I told Marla it was in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Marla's first job was at Little Rock. So I come back, and I tell her I can't do it. I'm not man enough to do it. Marla never yelled at anybody. It's just not what she did. She yelled at me. She's like, somebody else is going to take that job, and they're going to get the experience that you're not going to get. They're going to get a start. I mean, she was just being such a great mentor, but she was like, you made the wrong decision. Passionate, that one. Love her. That would be fun to get her on. Even though she never worked at The Deuce, doesn't matter. She's been off TV for a minute, so that would be fun. I'll have to text her. I haven't had lunch with her. It's probably been 5 years. All right. Anyway, people, tomorrow, Be there or be square. Please. We're going to chat hurricanes. I know it's early. All right? All right, listen. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. I apologize for missing 3:30. Definitely slept through it. I won't today because I'll be at work. All right? We'll see you guys and gals later on. All right? And, I'm going to be promoting that hurricane season forecast all day today so that you join us tomorrow. All right? Be good, y'all.